Hey guys, this is Marshall James and I'm here at the Tech City Explorer studio
Yes, sir.
to make a comparison video between the Tecno Camon 30 Pro 5G and the Samsung Galaxy A55 right there with him. So let's get started.
All right. So first of all, these are like the two main mid-range devices right
Yeah,
now that you can actually talk about. Okay, let's say these are the two making a fuzz, like really making a buzz,
yes.
really coming up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in terms of the build quality, what do you think?
Okay, in terms of build quality, I so much love the Tecno Camon 30 Pro compared
Okay.
to the Samsung Galaxy
Okay.
A55 for some reasons though. Tecno Camon 30 Pro is sleek, it's solid, unlike the Samsung Galaxy A55 that has a boxy body and very slippery. So to me, I'll go with Tecno Camon 30 Pro with the build quality and design.
Okay, so basically, the Tecno Camon 30 Pro 5G has a glass front and a glass back, and the Galaxy A55 also has a glass front and a glass back.
Yeah.
But the Galaxy A55 has an aluminum frame, and the Tecno has a plastic frame.
Okay.
And that's why this is actually heavier.
Yeah, it's heavy.
So
Like,
for me, in terms of build quality, this is quite heavy. Like it's really heavy-ended, and I don't know how comfortable most people are gonna find this. But when you hold both devices together, right?
yeah, I can check it out.
There's a difference. There's a huge difference in weight between these two and in comfort. This has a longer screen.
Yes.
This has a longer screen, but this is wider. So it actually fills up your hand and it's quite uncomfortable when you hold it. But this just fits like perfectly.
Perfect. Yes.
So in terms of weight, this is far heavier, uncomfortable, slippery. Feels like it's gonna fall off. But when you talk about like aesthetics and design, they've both done a great job. I love the two designs. This feels very premium. This as well, but the build of this is very close to like the S22.
Yeah, it doesn't
S20.
bring out
Yeah,
S
you
series.
understand
Yeah.
exactly.
I think they
But-
want to have like a design signature throughout.
Exactly. They want to give their devices like an identity.
Yes.
So no matter what you
But-
have, it has like this identity. This is a Samsung, device. So for me, or let's vote.
Okay.
These are both amazing devices in terms of build quality. You can see Tecno did a good job here. The texture in the back is just amazing.
wow.
And they both don't show smudges and fingerprints, which
Okay.
is a win for me. And in terms of the weight and the aesthetics and the camera layout, I'll go for the Tecno Camon, in my opinion. Personal preference.
Okay.
Preference is different.
I mean, you're choosing what I'm choosing.
You're going for the Camon as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so
I don't know if there is any variants of the Tecno Camon 30 Pro that has like a leather back, because my Tecno Camon 20 of last year has a leather back and I love that so much.
yeah, but you have the Premier.
Yeah, I have the
This
Premier.
is the Pro. But then the Camon 30, the silver version,
Okay.
I think has a leather variant.
Okay.
The
Okay.
silver version, I think has a leather variant.
I would love to see it. I
Yeah,
would
but
so love
it's
to see
it also looks amazing. But then talking about color, the Samsung Galaxy A55 actually edges out the Camon. The Camon right now, in my own understanding,
Okay.
has two colors.
Yeah.
We have this black and the silver. Now they have their crazy names they call your colors. I'm not going to go into that. We're just going to call it black and
yeah.
silver. But then the
Samsung.
Samsung has this what they call blue. But I know if you look at it, it looks like it's white. But they call this
Is it dynamic ice blue?
ice
Yeah,
blue.
ice blue.
They call this ice blue. And then they have lilac,
Like, yeah.
which is beautiful actually. And they have like two other colors. So they have 4 choices you can pick from if you're someone that likes that whole range of colors for your devices.
Yeah.
But the Camon just has these two, which I think are also very great. So I just wanted to
It's
put that
mature.
out there. Yes, in terms of comparison.
Okay.
So this has more color variants than the Camon. Yeah.
So you saying something about the aesthetics. How do you feel the volume rocker keys on the Samsung Galaxy?
Yeah, so Samsung developed the key island. So they have this thing Samsung does, which every time iPhones do something, they find a way to incorporate it in Samsung devices.
Okay.
So when the key
Island store on the-
island
yeah.
came, sorry,
On the screen.
what's the dynamic island? When the dynamic island came on the iPhones, so Samsung decides that theirs is called a key island, and it actually has like the bump you get. So kudos to them for that. Yeah, for me, the key island, it doesn't add or subtract to the productivity of this device. I think it's mostly aesthetic. But then, in terms of the clicks,
Yeah.
the haptics I'm getting from this is actually very nice. It's actually very nice. It feels sturdy. It feels quality. It feels like something that is built to last.
Please don't judge. Try this already.
Truly, this no, for real, this actually feels softer. Like, it feels softer. It feels plasticky.
Oh,
But
okay.
this feels very.
Okay.
Have a feel.
Oh.
That feels very
Yeah.
premium. You get.
Yeah.
Not that this is not going to last, not that it's not built to last. It is built to last, and I know it's going to last because we've had a lot of Camons and Sparks in the
yeah.
studio that have lasted the test of time and are
Yes.
doing well till now. So I know for a fact that this is going to last. But when you talk about the actual feel and the pleasure you get from like the haptic feedback in pressing these keys,
Okay.
I think the Galaxy gives you a lot more of that because it has a very sturdy feel to it, and it feels very premium, high class. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
What's the price of this device again?
in terms of pricing, they are quite similar. So I mean, I think they're about $400 for both of them.
Yeah.
But then I think we're going to come back to the price at the end of this when we've compared all aspects. Then we can
Okay.
now look at its worth in terms of pricing.
Pricing.
Like, is it worth going for this over this, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's
So
true.
yeah, for now, let's just say they both cost about the same,
same.
about $400. Even though I think it's a marketing campaign, but Samsung has slashed their prices.
So
They're
ahead.
doing a promo which
So ahead.
should last till the end of this month. So if you're interested in one, I think this is the best time to get one.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, I don't know about other countries, but in Nigeria there's a price slash, which I think is specifically to battle the
yes, the
sales,
Tecno.
because the competition this year has been really high
Yeah.
in the mid-range space. So I feel like they just needed something to give them an edge, which I think for the price they've slashed, I think it's about 300K
300,
now.
yeah.
Amazing.
Around 380 or thereabout.
Yeah, so with the price slash in terms of the promo, definitely amazing. But the actual official price is at about $400,
yes.
which puts them at about the same range. So we'll get to that later on.
Okay. So in terms of display, the Samsung Galaxy A55 right here comes with a Super AMOLED display, and I think that comes with just AMOLED display.
Yeah, on paper, right? The Samsung A55 Super AMOLED display with HDR 10
10
plus,
plus, yeah.
and this has just the
Super
AMOLED
AMOLED
display. But when you actually use the devices, I love the colors I get from the Camon a whole lot. I love the display of the Camon. I love how the blacks are, and I love how contrasted the colors are. Like, they actually are punchy, and But then the Samsung tries to keep it true, in the sense that the colors look realistic.
Okay.
They don't try to overboost colors. They try to keep
it
everything
balanced.
as real as possible.
Keep it
Which
balanced.
I don't think a whole lot of people really understand how cool that is. Like, most people these days like their videos punchy, colors
More saturated than the
very
rest.
saturated. Yeah, but personally, for someone that loves like photography or is into filmmaking, I think we'll appreciate the neutral or the realistic vibe that the Samsung actually offers.
Yeah, true. I accept that because from the origin, I feel Samsung owns AMOLED display. So any other device,
they're like the king of screens. They make screens.
Any other person that has an AMOLED
it's
display is like
most of these brands, funny enough, actually buy their screens from Samsung.
Exactly.
Exactly. So Samsung, in terms of screens, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll put the best in this, in the sense that they also have to work with cost.
Yeah.
They can't give the best of their technology in this so that the price can actually, be reduced for the average consumers. So
yeah. I also noticed that the Tecno Camon 30 Pro has a thinner bezel or no bezel at all compared to the Samsung Galaxy A55.
When it comes to the bezel, this is horrendous. This is outrageous. This is criminal. It's actually very criminal that the bezels on the Samsung Galaxy A55 are still this huge.
Come on.
I mean, when you compare it with the Camon, it is insane. Like, it's day and night. So the Camon is slimmer, but then it actually feels like it has more screen space because
Exactly.
the entire frame is like the screen. The bezels are almost. I think the only part that Samsung the Camon is the top. I don't know why they left this little bezel at the top, because you see the edges actually have like thinner bezels than
the top
and the bottom. They should have just made it all round the same, but all the same, it is it's actually outstanding when you watch like content on this.
Yeah, sure. Certain.
You almost don't notice that there's a bezel, but then you come to the Samsung and it's just criminal. It's pretty much unacceptable for real. And the fact that, I mean, this has been going on for
a while now.
Yeah, over how many years?
Yeah.
I would have expected that they would have, especially with the A55 series,
yes,
they should have actually, done better with that.
I think the Samsung are not really taking their feedbacks from the customers important, because I know over time people have been complaining about the thick bezels around their phones, but you keep seeing them bringing it out yearly. The only thing I've noticed is they have minimized the U-shape to a punch.
That was on the A34.
Yeah.
A34 had the U-shape notch,
yeah.
And then they've listened to an extent, and they brought the punch to the A35.
Exactly.
But with this A54 series, I feel like Samsung is like, you know how the iPhone, the Apple basically, they do whatever they like because they have the market for it.
Yes.
I feel like with Samsung, they feel like they have the market, so they're not so keen on, changing a lot so quickly. But the likes of Tecno are going to change that, because, for instance, this year the competition has been incredibly high for them.
Yes.
So I doubt we're going to see these bezels on the A56. I strongly doubt that. I feel like this is a wake-up call for Samsung, and I feel like there's going to be a huge change when it comes to that.
Let's hope together.
Yeah,
but
so
I strongly believe you see it on the A56.
Okay, so on paper, the Samsung Galaxy A55 has better specs than the Camon 30 Camon 30 Pro in terms of the display. But personal experience, what's your final take?
Okay, in terms of display, the Tecno Camon 30 Pro has 1,300 nits of peak brightness in terms of outdoor visibility, while this is just 1,000 nits of brightness.
Not just though, 1,000 is still quite high. 1,000
it's quite compared to 1,300.
It's higher here. Yeah. It's higher here.
So I think this is far better in terms of outdoor visibility than this. But in terms of indoor, they're quite similar, but I get lost whenever I'm watching content with the Tecno Camon 30 Pro based on the bezel of the stuff, and it's also adorable. Come on, everything about the Tecno Camon 30 Pro, it's giving. The Samsung is quite okay, I won't dispute that fact, but this year I'm giving it to Tecno.
Okay, so personal opinion here as well. I feel like I get distracted with the bezels whenever I'm consuming media with the A55, and I feel like this is far more immersive. Now, HDR10 Plus, Super AMOLED, awesome, amazing. But I personally enjoy content more on the Camon 30 Pro than with the A55. And that should sort of, I think we should add something else to this to really make people understand. That's the sound.
Okay.
Now, the sound quality would have probably been where I would say I would lean towards the A55 because it has amazing sound.
Yes. It has great bass.
The sound is actually very underrated. Like, you can actually hear the bass, you can hear the punches, you can hear the vocality, everything is clear,
the meat
right?
and everything,
And when you consume media, I think that's the only takeaway from this. Like, it's really immersive based on the sound.
Fact.
But now, the Camon 30 Pro also has amazing surround sound and also has Dolby Atmos.
Come on, guys.
So you now have this almost bezel-free device with excellent display and excellent surround sound, as well as a pretty much okay device too, but with this massive bezel. So just for the sake of the bezels, I'll take the Camon over the Galaxy when it comes to display.
Okay, I think we actually missed out something. Both devices don't have an headphone jack.
Yeah, this is a new trend, and I mean, I don't know what your take is on this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. But the Camon has no earphone jack, and same with the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And in order to get an external earphone, or in order to use it like an earphone, you either have to get like a Type-C earphone, or you have to get a dongle that converts like the Type-C to a 3.5 millimeters headphone jack.
Yeah.
But the disadvantage with that is the Type-C port is rendered useless while you're listening to audio.
You can't charge your phone.
So you can't charge your phone while you're listening to music. It's either you're listening to music with your earphone or you are charging your phone. Unless you want to go the Bluetooth route, which is like the external, like wireless earphones. But then that is now going to take a toll on your battery life. So is that a sacrifice you're ready to do? I guess that's going to be your decision.
But Tecno actually did great, because from the packaging they gave us a free headphones.
Exactly.
To complement.
Exactly. Now look. We can actually end this comparison right here just from this topic alone. So when unboxing the Camon 30 Pro 5G, it comes with a screen protector. It comes with a TP case.
Yes.
It comes with a safety casing. It also comes with a SIM ejector tool,
a 1-year warranty card.
It comes with a whole, all the necessary.
Comes with the charging brick, the cable.
The only thing that was missing was an earpiece. But guess what? They actually put a free wireless earbud in the packaging.
Sure.
Free. And what did we have in the packaging for the Samsung?
Only user guide and a cable, USB Type-C cable.
They literally just boxed the phone and gave you like, this is how to use your phone. Basically.
Just that.
And at the same price range.
Exactly. So sad.
And at the same price range. So that alone is basically like a plus 10 to the Camon 30 Pro and a negative 10 to the A55.
Yes.
So, okay. Now, still on the topic of the screen. So what do you think about the in-screen fingerprint sensor?
Oh, I almost skipped that part. The in-display fingerprint sensor on the Samsung Galaxy A55 is not quite responsive as that on the Tecno Camon 30 Pro 5G. Side by side, I've done that comparison, and the Tecno always beats the Samsung. People say it's like because of the animation stuff on the Samsung.
I actually feel like, because I checked myself, the Samsung actually unlocks fast, but then there's this delay with the animation, and it might be just from the animation, but that's some seconds taken off.
Exactly. And
because with this, you touch it and it's open, and you can quickly get access to your apps and everything. But with the Samsung, you touch it and then there's this.
You have to wait for a while.
It's just a second, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a world where we're losing patience on a daily, and we constantly trying to get things done ASAP. So like that 1 second is quite noticeable to a lot of people.
Yes. Just for instance, now switching on your lights, and it's like
exactly. And so you turn it on, and there's like a second before it comes on. Yeah, it just doesn't sit well, does it?
Yes, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, but then they are both optical fingerprint sensors, so it's pretty much the same thing. It's just that one feels faster than the other. Yeah. So I guess that's going to be subjective to you at home on which you would prefer to go with.
Yes. And also the Tecno Camon 30 Pro 5G has like a weight screen stuff that you can actually operate your screen on the weight condition.
Yes, that's actually, look, we have to give kudos to the Tecno team, right? We have to give kudos to the Tecno team, because there's something I noticed on the Samsung that I almost made a whole video out of it. On the box of when you unboxing, I noticed there was a stamp for Africa.
Yeah, he told me something about that.
And I'm looking at this for Africa stamp, and I'm like, what is it exactly? What aspect of for Africa is it? Is it for Africa like, okay, we're only shipping to Africa because of what? Like, because if you're making a device for Africa, you should do your research on Africa.
Yes.
This company, Tecno, they have done their research on Africa, and every single year, you can tell from the devices that they have actually made these devices for Africa.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about like the screen response when your fingers are wet.
Yes.
It's very natural here to be sweating, maybe from heat. Or maybe, you're working, you're doing something, and your fingers are...
Yes.
And with the Camon 30 Pro, even with wet fingers or like some splash of water on your screen, your fingerprint sensor still works and you can still navigate your phone.
True.
But with just a little water on the Samsung, you definitely cannot have access to the phone unless it is dry.
So sad.
Which is ironic. Guess why?
Why?
The Samsung has an IP67 dust and waterproof rating,
Yes.
which makes it waterproof up to I think 1 meter or thereabout. Doesn't mean you should put your device in water. It just means that, I mean, if it does have that situation where you're under the rain or something, it's fine.
It can survive.
This does not have an official IP rating. But then they are thoughtful enough to make it that with water on the surface
screen
of the screen, you can actually have access to your device. So, I mean, it feels like they're putting more thought into this device for their target markets, for their target audience, than the Samsung.
Yes.
Yeah.
Samsung, they are just like, okay, it's fine. African will appreciate it.
Exactly.
Let's send it out to
It's
them.
Samsung, it's
sounds-
cheap, it's affordable, let's put it out there. If you're a gamer and you want to spend a long time playing on your phone, again, the Camon kind of edges out the Samsung. And this is mainly because of comfort. Just holding this right here, I mean, it fits right in.
Yes.
And you have more screen space in terms of the width
Yes.
now when you put it this way horizontally.
Exactly.
But then with the Samsung, it just has this, I don't know, I just don't feel very comfortable when I hold the Samsung to play games. You get?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, in terms of the actual gameplay, they both actually do very well. I think in mid-graphic settings, you can get as high as 60 frames per second from the Samsung.
Yes.
Yes, it's when you're playing titles like PUBG and Call
Call
of
of
Duty.
Duty, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you have a slightly higher refresh rate with the Camon.
That's true. Come on, I saw 59.
59.
Yeah, when I went Extreme
okay.
and SGL. Yeah, I also had some comments that the Samsung Galaxy A55 hits up a lot when gaming. Have you experienced it yourself?
I actually did experience this. So I even had to do like a temperature test at some point. I ran a temperature check before I started gaming.
Okay.
Room temperature, 32, 33 degrees. And then after gaming, the device was at 37.3. So numbers aside, I could literally feel the device heat up.
Heat up, yeah.
Not the slight warm up we usually get from, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
game,
expected, but
yeah.
it actually got quite
Hot.
hot. Like I had to like, okay, let me put this down for a bit, kind of hot. So
But that's not the same with the Tecno Camon 30 Pro.
no, actually, with the Tecno Camon 30 Pro, I didn't experience any heating
Heat. up.
Like it was comfortable throughout. I think I did a game test for almost an hour, and throughout that time, I didn't really have any heat, experience. So yeah.
Yeah. Same here. I didn't have any issue with the Tecno Camon 30 Pro, but with the Samsung, it was hot.
But honestly, it's not just the gaming. I've actually had experiences with this hitting up over like stressful situations. Maybe I'm really pushing it, doing something. Yeah, I've actually noticed it hits up quite easily.
Yeah, it's true. The first experience I had wasn't actually the gaming. Just when running Antutu test, this device was so hot after the Antutu test.
Yeah, so that's been the experience with this. I've noticed it hits up quite a lot when you're trying to do something stressful. When you push the processor a bit, then it starts to like, hit up. So I don't know what that's about, but Samsung for the next series maybe do something about that.
Or maybe a software upgrade.
Maybe a firmware update or something can just fix that problem. So let's see about that.
Yeah. This comes with a 5,000 milliamp battery capacity. That's the Tecno Camon 30 Pro. How about the Samsung?
It's the same thing. They both have 5,000 milliampere, so it's pretty much industry standard at this point.
Yeah, and that's like okay for a daily use or two, depending on the user. Yeah.
100%. Like I tested these devices. We've had this device for over 2 weeks now, and I should say, they've actually not disappointed. In full charge, they've all really lasted a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think I only noticed the Samsung drain a lot when I was using it as my modem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I was using this to
power another device,
to
hotspot share.
Exactly, hotspot sharing.
Yeah.
It drains really, really fast when you do that.
Wow.
But apart from like Bluetooth on and hotspot sharing, it's actually really kept on. It does really well in terms of like average use without like really pushing it. Like if you're watching content and just scrolling through your phone, you're going to have a good amount of battery
left.
life out of this. Yeah. So, but with the Camon, then when I was using it as my modem,
okay,
it actually lasted longer. Like, I never really worried about charging it so often. But with the Samsung, every time I would pick it up, it's almost like 10% and I have to like charge it immediately. But with the Camon, I mean, it wasn't that bad. But then without the hotspotting and the Bluetooth and all of that, they both actually last very, very well. I would have loved to see, especially Samsung, because this is quite thick.
Very thick.
This is actually thicker than the Camon. So I would have loved to have seen like a 5,200 milliampere battery on here, 5,300, just a little age over
to complement its size.
Exactly, to complement the size, because I mean it's so heavy and it's so thick, and then it has exactly 5,000 milliamperes as this. They all have in
display fingerprints.
So there's nothing special here that really makes me understand why it's thicker than the Camon. So yeah, that's just my take on the battery.
Then talking about charging, you said something about charging it frequently. Samsung here has a 25 watts charging speed, while this has a 70 watts.
Very slow to get this up to 100%. I literally just like plug it all night and just wake up and I'm like, yeah, it's full. So, but during the day, every time I've charged it and I'm about to go out something and I pick it up, it's not gone anywhere.
Unlike this, that is, but like,
once you plug that, I mean, it's
just relax.
Within an hour, you've gotten like almost a full charge.
And also, they didn't give us a charging brick. That's like
absolutely no charging brick with the Samsung, so you have to buy that. And then 70 watts charging brick comes with the Camon 30 Pro 5G, just for your just for your decision making process. So you can think about that when you want to buy one of these devices.
Yes, which is really important.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into the performance aspect of this device.
Okay, yeah. So this comes with the Exynos 1430 or 1480. Not the best. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, they could have done better.
Yeah.
So that comes with the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultimate chipset. Don't mind all these names and numbers, but basically, they are quite similar. But I think the MediaTek edges out the Exynos just a little bit. You can notice it when you start to push the processor. You know, when you like gaming and, you know, a lot of other things, like when we're doing the test, the graphics test and all of those things, it actually really performs. And then on the benchmark also, you can actually just tell that the MediaTek, you know, actually does better. This comes with an Eclipse 530, and that's a Mali G 610. Yeah. So again, quite similar, but I feel personally that I feel like the Mali G 610 actually edges this out again, just a tad, you know, slightly.
And also they're both running on the latest Android 14.
Yeah, they're both Android 14, but this has the One UI 6.1. Even though it has the recent, like the new One UI 6.1, it also doesn't have the AI capabilities the S series
does.
I have no idea why they won't just do it
for African market
or for cost reduction. Who knows? So yeah, but with the Camon, you have the iOS 14, which has quite a beautiful skin. Like the new iOS 14 actually has some really cool features, and the looks are actually cool. The customization capabilities you have in terms of colors and, you know, a whole lot. Like there's so much you can dive into with the Camon in terms of with its new iOS 14.
Yes.
And I mean, combining the Android 14 with the iOS 14, there's a whole lot you can really dive into. Yeah.
I think Tecno is they do actually listen to their feedback and user.
They do.
Because
they really do.
I know over time we'll be complaining about Bluetooth, and with the iOS 14, the Bluetooth is not as if that's actually gone, but has been minimized a lot. There's not much Bluetooth compared to
minimized. I'll say they should just get it out. They should get it out all the same. But let's not forget, this also comes with bloatwares, just not the type as that.
Yeah.
These people, the Galaxy the Samsung devices sneak in bloatwares. Now here's what I mean. When you're setting this up, there's some applications that they force on you. You're
sign up.
They say how do they put it? Necessary applications, something like apps that you need. But you don't. I mean,
that should not be being posted on you.
Yes, and they put apps like TikTok, and they're like, these are the apps that you need. But then those are bloatwares, just not the way Tecno
fronts it.
You know, pushes it on you and stuff. But yeah. So they both have blowers, just in their own, different ways.
Yes, nice. And also this has a 12 gig of RAM that can be expanded to 24 gig of RAM. What do you think about that?
Look, when it comes to the devices, look, I appreciate Tecno for constantly pushing these boundaries and bringing us these devices, but come on, let's be realistic. What will you actually need 12 gigabytes of RAM to do on a device? The Galaxy comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, expandable to 16 gigabytes, and that's more than enough. Look, 8 gigabytes of RAM is pretty much all the average man needs. In fact, 4 gigabytes of RAM to 6 gigabytes of RAM is what the average man needs. Yeah. Now, with 8 gigabytes of RAM, the above average user can definitely achieve so much with the device. So when you have access to 12 gigabytes, it's something else. I mean, it covers everything for you, doesn't it? It really guarantees that smooth flow when you're using your device. Makes it almost like instant that you really don't even start to understand that you're using a phone anymore. It just feels like part of your daily life and routine. So yeah, it's cool that they both have that, but I won't really
front it
age the Samsung out because that's like 12 and this is 8. Well, I mean, it's a plus, isn't it?
It's a plus.
It's a plus. Yeah, but then there's also the storage.
The storage, and
this coming with 512 gigabytes of storage.
Sure.
This maxes out at 256 gigabytes, but then has an expandable storage, and that's not expandable.
Okay.
Well, come on. Again, a smartphone. What do you need with more than 512 gigabytes of storage? You get. And let's be realistic. Let's face something too. That's a dual SIM card. Dual SIM card. But in order to use dual SIM card here, you can't actually have the expandable storage. So in order to use an expandable storage here, you have to sacrifice one SIM card. So it's it's just here and there. If I was to give this category to one, I would say the Camon actually wins this, because I really don't see how you're going to use up 512 gigabytes of storage and you still have access to dual SIM cards. Whereas here you have 256 gigabytes, which is still a lot. But then if you feel like you need more, storage, you can add an external SD, expandable to 1 terabyte. So I mean, again, it's subjective. It's user preference.
So to you, let's talk about the performance in general. Which device will you go for?
They are both fast, but personal experience, specs apart, paperwork apart.
Okay.
Personal experience. I actually enjoy using the Camon. Everything feels real time. When you push up, when you're multitasking, all of that feels very real time when you're using the Camon.
I can remember in your review you said it is buttery smooth. You can apply it to a bread.
You literally can butter your bread with the Camon. Like, it is buttery smooth. You get. Now, this is good. It's good, but when you use the Camon side by side with this, you can really see this is a slight difference.
That's true. All what he's saying is true. I've used both devices, and also I'll link to the Camon 30 Pro.
So in terms of performance, based on our own opinion, everyone is entitled to theirs, right?
Yes.
The Camon would be our go-to device in terms of performance.
Do you all have this notion that Samsung has the best camera?
I mean, they're supposed to be like the king with the camera side as the department.
Exactly. But on the switch side of it, a Tecno Camon 30 Pro here comes with a Sony IMX 50 megapixel shooter, and he has been doing a great job, even with side-by-side comparison with the Samsung Galaxy A55 right here.
Well, look, Sony IMX 890 chipsets, excellent. Paperwork, again, you get 50 megapixels, not a big deal. When it comes to phone, these devices and their pixels, whatever they're writing, that really doesn't matter, because you can actually have, like, I always bring up the iPhone as an example. You can have an iPhone with 8 megapixels and you can't compare its camera with the 50 megapixels.
Yes, true.
So those numbers are for consumers to eat up, you get. But numbers aside, like, I think for me, the purpose of this comparison should not be based on the numbers that this companies put out for us to consume. It should be based on what we actually experience, real life. So when it comes to the camera with Update 2, again, it's similar to the display. It's going to be subjective. I expected more from the Samsung, but the Samsung actually gives you as realistic as possible photos. The colors are true tone, the skin tones are very natural, everything is as natural as possible, almost like your eyes are seeing them, which in today's day and age is being interpreted as not being good because the colors are not like saturated and punchy.
Yeah.
But then the Camon does amazing with pictures, then adds that punchy colors and saturation and contrast. So it kind of comes across like it wins this category. But if you have like a photography background or you're into filmmaking or anything like that, I love taking pictures. I love that whole vibe of, So I personally would lean towards the Samsung because it's very realistic and kind of gives room for you to sort of like edit your pictures after.
Okay.
You can control the colors later, add or subtract or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But with that, it comes almost finished. Like it's been done. The colors have been put in, everything is already there, and So, but the average user I feel would lean towards the Camon because of those punchy colors.
Videos,
But in terms of performance, I think both in video 4K, I think they both shoot 4K, 60 and 4K 30.
Sure.
They both have a steady,
ultra steady mode.
So image stabilization.
Yeah.
And
Samsung wins the Tecno in that.
In the image stabilization, it's very smooth. That's a little floaty.
Yeah.
So for me, they both do amazing, but I would have expected a little more out of the A55. But even as it is, I would lean towards the A55 in terms of the camera.
Okay, I would say yes and a no. A yes in terms that you have to take a lot of shots with the Tecno Camon 30 Pro to have that consistency to match up that of the Samsung A55. Because like one take here, two take here, it gives you the same thing. But one take here, two take here varies. Like have to like take more to have like the same consistency. But I'm an African man. I love that already processed images.
You've made a point. Look, I think one of the reasons I love taking pictures with the F55 is the fact that I don't have to worry about my shots. I literally just pick out the phone and I take a picture and I know it's good.
Yeah.
But with the Camon, I have to keep like checking and be sure, like, because you literally have to take 10 to 20 pictures to get 5 good ones. Yeah. And that consistency is where I'm like, added with and then the sharpening. Now, Tecno has a lot of AI sharpening in their pictures. Not so bad in the Camon. A much better, percentage with the Camon. But with the Samsung, the skin tone is smoother. Everything is more realistic. That AI sharpening is not really there. And I'm just a fan of this natural look. So those are the reasons why I lean towards the A55 over the Camon 30 Pro.
So me, I'll go with my Camon 30 Pro.
No problem. It's subjective, so everyone has a right to their choice. So yeah. When we talk about mid-range devices, in my opinion though, I feel like mid-range devices are targeted towards average class people. You get? Because they are, if you could afford it, everyone will have the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15s and all of that. So if you're coming down to this, I believe that's where your like budget can carry. And that should also be considered for maintenance. I would prefer it if these companies can make the mid-range devices to not have glass backs. They can use those plastics that look like glass. Their materials now, we call them plastic. Yeah? They look like glass, but they're not glass. But then it serves us a lot when your phone drops, your heart is not in your hands, and changing it is not going to cost you an arm and a leg, right? Yeah. So I think that that would be a better alternative.
Or better still, they can have or have that leather bag.
Or the leather, you know what I mean? They can do the leather back, or just cut down on the cost of replacement parts so that we know that, okay, good. If we spend $400 to get this and it goes bad, we spend $50 to fix it. Rather than spend $400 to fix it, you get. So that's my take on it.
So in conclusion, I will lean to the Tecno Camon 30 Pro for most of the reasons we actually said. The packaging, the displays for me at display, the camera and the rest. So, and in terms of beauty, I can take this and point that area and nobody actually knows that this is a Tecno device.
Exactly.
Like that's gone beyond that Tecno signature that people will like, Tecno device, I don't like it. But seeing this alone, you can't even tell it's a Tecno device except you're being told. So it's hard. Tecno has actually come up of class that they're giving us something really classic and modern, and it feels expensive. So I will lean to that, and I would love to know yours.
Yeah, like you said, in conclusion for me though, like everything you've said in terms of aesthetics, looks, sleekness, all of that. The Camon 30 Pro 5G has covered it all. And then it's not just a, beauty without brains. It has all the processing power and speed and everything to back up its good looks.
Exactly.
So, and then look, it's a landslide for me. It shouldn't be a landslide, but it's a landslide for me, leaning towards the Tecno, because there's so much. From the pricing, keeping them side by side, same price, then you get the box, and then you have all the accessories included in this. We talked about like protecting the screen. This comes with screen protection in the box, as well as a screen guard already installed on this.
Yeah.
So I mean that's like a win for this already. Then you bring it out, and this is so heavy, and this is lighter and sleeker. I mean, this is simplistic. I'm a very minimalistic person. I love the whole minimalistic design. Yeah. But then there's just this character. There's this character to this device.
Yeah.
It has the character to it, and then that makes it sort of unique to me. I like it. I like it a lot. And then you now talk about the processors and all of that. So for me, where the Samsung sort of edges the Camon 30 Pro 5G would be in terms of the camera and slightly with the display. But then those are just the only two aspects. Everything else is the Camon. So if I'm to spend $400 on one of these devices, I'll go for the Camon.
So guys, it was actually great to have Tech City Explorer right there. And he's been doing really great on his channel. So you have to check him out. I'll also leave a link to his channel in the description box. Please just make sure you click and check him out.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button. And help him out. He's actually growing. He has like a massive fans deal. More subscribers.
We only just got to 3,000 subscribers, but we're looking to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of this month. So hit the subscribe button and let's get there.
And don't forget to turn on the post notification bell in order to get alerted whenever a new video has been dropped. And also, if you love this video, tell us what you love most in the comment section and what other video you love us to do.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see more of this collaboration, let us know in the comment section.
Till next time.
Till we see you again.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.